There's going to be a lot of cussing in this one, probably. Put the kids down. We're drinking Jack Daniels.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome in to the first 4 downs. This is the Uncut Show, obviously.
Yeah.
You got B. Scott here with,
G.O.D.
and
Third wheel.
Third Wheel. He's in the house. Yeah, absolutely.
Made an appearance.
Yeah, of course. So
We have Yoda himself.
absolutely. So we're going over the Super Bowl preview, just a little preview of the Super Bowl. We got a week and a half or so away from it, and we got some other stuff. Deshaun Watson, obviously.
Yeah, that's
quarterback controversy, and the carousel of quarterbacks. I mean, how many quarterbacks are going to be changing the guard this year, coming up in 2021 season?
Of course.
And then also a little bit of fantasy. Just finish it off. Just talk about some fantasy awards in the season. Some stuff that really we didn't really know was going to happen, and stuff that we kind of projected. So
A lot of people don't know a lot of things that happen in fantasy, especially playoffs.
hey, you know what? I'll be honest. It's okay. I didn't make the playoffs. I get it. We all play in a league. I didn't make the playoffs. It's okay.
That's what's up.
Sometimes it happens.
So you know what it is. It's B. Scott, the Third Wheel, G.O.D. Hey, don't touch that dial. Gotcha.
Did you drop the third leading rusher?
Mindfucks. Jedi mindfucks. Party
The
of
third-
one.
the third
Jedi
leading
mindfuck. Party
Hey,
of one.
the third leading rusher had 80 yards over a 4-game span. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And he was my third rusher. Remember that. So
Kenyon Drake. He dropped it. Mindfuck. Jedi mindfuck. Party of one.
he
This
got
is
10
your
he
conscience.
had 10 hey, it's okay. Yeah. Hey, and he had 10,
That's golden right now.
and he had 10 touchdowns. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me I drafted Kenyon Drake and Jonathan Taylor and DeAndre Swift and I picked up James Robinson and had
I
Alvin
did not
Kamara
make the playoffs.
and
Party
picked
of
up
one.
Justin Jefferson and drafted Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones and Mike Evans.
Did you draft Jerry Rice and Steve Young
I might
and
as
Joe
well,
Montana?
right?
Oh my gosh. Let's go.
Ready? What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Obviously, it's Super Bowl week because no one cares about Pro Bowl week. This is really Pro Bowl week,
Absolutely
but
not.
yeah. So we're gonna talk Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl quarterbacks, stuff like that. So let's jump right into it. We got the Kansas City Chiefs on the road against Tampa Bay Bucks at home in the Super Bowl, first time in NFL history. It's gonna be a great game. Essentially, you got the best of all time, Tom Brady,
There you go.
versus the reigning guy that people are really crowning as being the potential to be the best of all time,
Baby
Patrick
Joe.
Mahomes.
Like if he died right now, he'd probably go in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
Put that voodoo on. Hey,
no, I'll be honest. So,
Hopefully.
but anyway,
No,
so
but
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be a great game. Ultimately, Tampa Bay knocking off Green Bay last week. Huge game, back and forth. Some crazy calls. Tampa Bay got out big. Green Bay came back, fought back into that game, and Tampa eventually finished it off. So
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy game. There's a lot of things to be had in that game, but like I told you, man, I felt like Green Bay did not have everything that they needed to do against that team. You know what I mean? You look at the defense, you know what I'm saying, the way they whipped them in week 6. And the offensive linemen that were out then, they were out again. You know what I mean? Like Bakhtiari, that was a huge deal. Losing that left tackle, which is an all-pro, you know what I'm saying? You've seen Jason Pierre-Paul, Shaq Barrett just get off in that game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Brady made some excellent throws in that game. And honestly, he made some throws that were like a little bit questionable. He's just throwing up there. And I think that's more of a test to Mike Evans wanting more of what he's used to. You know what I'm saying? He's led the league in air yards since 2016 and red zone air yards. You know what I mean? So, when you're throwing them up there, but you're not even looking back on the routes, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get those interceptions. I think that cold probably affected only that player, Mike Evans, in that game. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it affected the Green Bay Packers a little bit. We've seen Aaron Jones just I don't know what happened to Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He just disappeared.
Yeah.
2 fumbles in that game, and hopefully he comes back and we see a better Aaron Jones. But, with A.J. Dillon, the beast that he is, breathing up his back, who knows to say that Aaron Jones will even be back, knowing that he turned down top 5 money.
yeah. Well, A.J. Dillon carrying the defender, man, that was the craziest play. He
Yeah,
got
that
a
was
defender on
crazy.
his back, literally.
For 8 yards.
Yeah, so
I was like, why even buy a bus pass?
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah, but you look at these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've been healthy. They've been getting healthy at the right time, playing the good football at the right time.
Yeah.
They've knocked off arguably the top two of the four teams in the NFL right now in New Orleans Saints and Green Bay Packers. So now we're seeing Patrick Mahomes, and this is win or go home.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be crazy. Kansas City don't even get to go to Tampa Bay until Saturday, the day before the game. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? This whole COVID thing is really brutal. So I don't know.
Give it to Kansas City. Here's the deal. Kansas City goes out to play Buffalo. Obviously, they're at home. They play a great game. They demolish Buffalo. Not even close, to be honest. They played a great game. They really did. First time that we've seen a true Kansas City Chiefs team come out and play well in the last 10 weeks of football.
That's a fact.
So can they ride that into the Super Bowl? We'll have to wait and see. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Tyreek Hill. Yes, they lost some offensive linemen and stuff like that. They're hurting a little bit there. So that plays a factor considering they're playing a great defensive line. Jason Pierre-Paul, Vita Vea, he played his heart out against Green Bay. Don't get me wrong. Ndamukong Suh, Shaq Barrett on the edge. So it's going to be tough. But ultimately, this is a game that we very rarely get to see, considering we're looking at the greatest of all time, and essentially one of possibly the greatest of all time playing each other in a game.
This is like LeBron versus Jordan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Both respectively close to their primes. You know what I mean. So, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're recording this show, the whole preview show on Wednesday.
Yes.
And we'll have it for you on Thursday. And I'll have my whole full analysis there.
Yeah.
But
we'll have the winners then.
Hands up, I got one question.
If you are betting early right now, just be careful.
Hands up, I got one question. Do you think Kansas City's defensive backs are going to do what Green Bay's did and just fold over and let them get easy passes?
They're not that great anyway.
Are they better than what Green Bay did for them? Because
I'll tell you what.
Brady had a couple gimmies. He had a couple gimmies.
I feel like Jair Alexander was probably the best defensive back in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Period. You know what I mean?
It was unreal.
Even when Brady tried to go to that side,
it wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening.
He had a couple knockdowns on Chris Godwin. You know what I mean? He played his heart out.
And on that dude King that they absolutely murdered.
Well, King was hurt coming into that game as well. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that was scheme. You seen that touchdown with Scotty Miller. That was a man-to-man thing, and I think they really underestimated the speed of Scotty Miller, who run a 4.39. You know what I'm saying? The boys are beasts. I think they really just like, yeah, okay, AB ain't playing. We can cover the zone, or you know what I'm saying? We can just let them get a little bit of steps of foot, and it's not happening. Scotty Miller's for real. We've been seeing that with Tom Brady throughout the season, all season. You know what I'm saying? When AB was not there, they was getting those deep touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's a mistake. But the Mike Evans touchdown, is King ever going to guard Mike Evans? No.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Jair should have been on that side, but he's not traveling right now.
Yeah.
Just the same way Ramsey wasn't traveling. So, that's a big thing. Who can cover? Who can really cover on Kansas City? You know what I'm saying? Those D-backs, who can cover any of those Tampa Bay receivers? I don't know. And you got AB coming back fresh off, 2 weeks of rest.
I would say they could do better than Green Bay did. In a lot of instances.
I don't see it.
I'll be honest. I think Kansas City's secondary is definitely.
Like I said, I'll have this whole full analysis. I don't want to really spit it right now because I want you to come back.
Yeah, of course.
And everything like that. But I got a whole score and everything like that. But we'll see.
It's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a great game. I'm excited to watch it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got two teams that arguably don't have great defenses. One's got a great defensive line. Kansas City's secondary is above average. Don't get me wrong. So it's gonna be a battle. Absolutely. So we'll definitely get back to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting to talk about. So let's dive in.
You might want to take money lines on this game.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how close it gets.
Yeah.
The closer it gets to the Super Bowl week. So anyway, let's jump into the quarterbacks. Let's talk about some quarterbacks. First off, Deshaun Watson. Everybody's talking about him. Mm-hmm. Top 5 quarterback in the league. And he's demanding a trade from a team. Albeit, here's the deal. It's hard to let go of a franchise quarterback, a guy that is a top 5 in the league. but it doesn't seem like he's going to play another game in a Texans uniform.
The organization been messed up for a while.
Exactly. So they're going to have to trade him, ultimately. And there's lots of good landing spots for him. But people are going to have to give up a lot of capital, period, for him.
Come on, Raiders. Go get it.
The Raiders should be a prime candidate to even do it, and a suspect. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is because David Carr sucks.
There's probably about 20 teams
He's
in
just
the
an
league.
average quarterback.
Any team in the
Absolutely
National
average.
Football League could use Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Yep.
This is a top 5 guy, and you know what? He's won at every level except for the NFL level. You know what I mean? He's going to look to do that. Now, you trying to keep Deshaun Watson on your team, the Houston Texans. I mean, Houston, you have a problem. You look at, you know what I'm saying, the Rockets, the Astros. Now it's affecting the football team, and it's like, what's going on in Houston? What's the culture there, really? You know what I'm saying? All these guys are making a massive exodus out of there, and you wonder what they can really do. Now, what they do is go try to hire the oldest living Negro to fucking be the head coach for the first time.
Yeah.
A 65-year-old guy, and it's like the day after Deshaun Watson says, you know what, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? The assistant head coach at Baltimore, you look at Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, they struggled to pass the ball this year.
Yeah.
So there was no regard for, you know what I'm saying, his input, or it's really showing like disrespect to him completely. I would not want to be there as well. In my opinion, the best fit for Deshaun Watson is either San Francisco or another dome team in the Atlanta Falcons. You know what I mean? And that's going to be a hard trade. You know what I'm
So
saying?
they're off of Ryan?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's a possibility.
He's like,
It's
what,
a-
third passing yards in the league?
yeah, but
Or-
he
I'm
also
he's in the top
sucks.
5.
He hasn't been great.
Yeah.
On top of that, without Julio Jones, it's shown how bad he struggled, and Julio's just getting older. You're looking at Atlanta Falcons with a new head coach, a new GM. You know what I mean? It's like it's
they might
pretty
wanna-
much time to rebuild. They ain't got a running back, Todd Gurley. They brought him in, it ain't working. You know
And
what I
they
mean?
not running.
He's not
you
healthy.
got a mobile quarterback like Deshaun Watson who can make it happen with his legs. So I mean, if you want to do that, you're gonna have to get rid of Matt Ryan. You may have to let go of Julio.
Yeah.
Even though he's a home guy. You know what I'm saying? On the Niners side of the football, you're gonna have to lose Kittle. You're going to have to lose Kittle and picks in this trade to acquire Deshaun Watson. And if it's me, if I'm John Lynch, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Kittle cannot stay healthy. Yes, he may be a generational player at that position, but for Deshaun
He's a
Watson,
fan favorite, man.
I'm taking that all day long.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? Other landing spots, New England ain't finna trade for Deshaun Watson.
No, they don't pay nobody.
I really don't see that happening.
No, they don't pay nobody.
Unless they get a sign and trade for Cam Newton, and I feel like that's the best scenario. They got the players that's been opted out, you know what I'm saying, on the defensive side, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? You got J.J. Watt still there. Maybe you can get a Hightower. Maybe you get the Chung. Maybe you get both. Couple draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Really bulk up your team and get a sign and trade with Cam that ultimately cements Cam in a starting role next year. Because who's to know where he could land up?
Yeah.
Maybe you can get that done. And honestly, that'll probably get a Deshaun Watson landing in New England. But however, I don't think a lot of people will be willing to step in a great man's shoes in Tom Brady. And being that he has that no trade clause, that's one place that I'm Xing out right now.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, do I think Indianapolis does it? No.
I don't think so.
I
It's
think
in
it's
the
gonna-
division. Why would
that's
they
what I'm
trade?
saying.
Why would they trade him in the division? I was thinking
If-
Jacksonville.
If
You know what I
they
mean?
are any kind of business savvy at all, they see the shit that's going on with Aaron Rodgers, maybe they get that done. But they also drafted Jordan Love in the first round last year. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So this landing spot is going to either be San Francisco or Atlanta, in my opinion, for Deshaun Watson.
It could be. I'll be honest. There's a lot of teams out there that could be huge shockers. You never know. I mean, there's so many teams. There was talks today about Cleveland Browns
How about Chicago?
trading Baker Mayfield in the top pick. You know what I mean?
Oh, my
Deshaun
God.
Watson. I'll be honest.
How about
Deshaun Watson.
Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago's absolutely an option.
Why would he go there when when they passed him up in the draft?
Because the only thing...
And it's in the cold, and you
That's
got to
the
play Aaron
ultimate
Rodgers.
disrespect. You know what I'm saying? That he ain't gonna do that.
It's tough.
He has a no trade clause.
That's a good,
He has
good
he
team
has a
that
say.
needs a quarterback.
He has a say where he can
I
go.
get it. I'm just saying that's a good team.
Miami
It's
Dolphins.
a good defense.
Miami Dolphins. They're talking about with Tua trading Tua.
Allen
draft
Robinson.
picks.
Allen Robinson is also a free agent. Who's to say Allen Robinson even stays there? It's not set in gold. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the only thing that's set in gold is in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Those 49ers, that's what they do. Period.
They got to trade up some pieces.
And if they and I'm gonna tell you what,
some pieces.
and I'm gonna tell you what, fuck Kittle, get rid of him.
I
To get a Deshaun Watson with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, hopefully the potential
nice.
of Jalen Hurd. You know what I'm saying? You have an offense and that offensive line. Rich Sherman ain't gonna be there, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You could revamp your secondary. You already got a good one. So that's if Deshaun Watson lands in San Francisco.
With Shanahan.
This is a perennial
That's
NFC championship game team. Period.
Yeah.
It's definitely a playoff team. Like, that's, yeah.
I mean, hey, don't forget about Little Carolina. You know, nobody wants to talk about them, obviously.
Nobody wants to talk about them.
Exactly.
Moving along.
I mean, there's so many. Like I said, Deshaun Watson's one of those quarterbacks.
What pick do they have? Like
probably in the 10 to 15.
something like that. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, there's 20 teams in the NFL that could use Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at least.
Yeah.
And that gives you 12. And even the guys with the young guys and stuff like that. It's like, there's still 20 teams that I would upgrade to Deshaun Watson for. No problem. Absolutely.
And like
But,
I said,
I
you're
mean,
still,
you know,
you're still going to have to deal with Prescott on this. Because if Dallas doesn't go out and really sign him, he might not want to sign a deal. So he basically forces them
There
to
are a
sign
lot of
him
rumblings
an
out
extension.
there right now that says that Prescott does not want to be a Dallas Cowboy one more day. So,
Exactly.
I mean, 1-1, they both in Texas. Maybe that happens. I don't know if the two agree to that. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to understand that Deshaun Watson, just like Kobe had, the no trade clause. You know what I'm saying? That's a big factor in all of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, will he undercut Dak Prescott, knowing that they didn't want to even pay Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones? That's a sticky situation to even get in. You know what I'm saying? But
Watson's on the move. Prescott, unsigned. You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, 49ers. They're not pleased with Garoppolo. No one really knows what's going to happen there.
He can't stay on the field, and even then he's been
That's what I'm saying. Carson Wentz, is somebody else going to pay Carson Wentz outside of the
it
Philadelphia
could be
Eagles?
Belichick or Frank Reich or whatever, you know what I'm saying, in Indianapolis. I don't know. It's really too early to tell. The draft is coming up, so all that will be coming up.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take picks and a lot of players to get all these quarterback. This is like your team.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It all lands and falls on the quarterback. You have to make this right decision, period. You know what I'm saying? And it's not an easy decision.
No.
Outside of Deshaun Watson, come on. You got Stafford, who,
That's an easy decision.
he plays with a broken back every single fucking year.
Yeah,
since
he's
been
going to be out
Georgia.
there and play hard.
You know what I
don't get
mean?
me wrong.
I mean,
above average quarterback.
It is what it is. Carson Wentz threw
Exactly.
like 350 interceptions last year. So,
Right.
I mean, if you trade for any of these guys, none of the shit is
350
surefire.
divided by
Jameis
2.
Winston is honestly a guy who could be out there for teams. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a team like the Raiders can persuade him to come out of there. But I think that he'll probably stay there. Breeze is done to me, in my opinion. Like athletically wise and everything like that. I don't feel like he's coming back.
Yeah, I know.
I agree with you. I agree. Breeze is probably hey.
I think Winston's the guy over there.
Father Time catches up with you, man.
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't have it. We saw Phil Rivers finally retire in this offseason. So, quarterbacks are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy to see possibly 10 different teams with different quarterbacks this season.
Here's something like that's just like out there left field. Darius Guice, all charges got dropped on Darius Guice this week.
Really?
So can he be back in the league? And I mean, who would want him? What would you think?
I don't know. The guy can't stay healthy and stay on the field. That's what I'd be more worried about. So, lots of teams need running backs, and especially backup running backs, and take second, third strings. You saw James Robinson,
He is a
undrafted
monster,
free agent.
though.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like a lot of teams are going to give him a chance. I would assume. So you never know what's going to happen with that. Diving into fantasy. Obviously, the fantasy season's over. Been a few weeks now, but we could talk about first off some of the biggest surprises of the fantasy season. So for me, I'm going to start right off. There's a couple big ones. James Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars, top 5 running back, undrafted free agent, most yards by an undrafted free agent in the history. Period. He just beat out Philip Lindsay. You know, Philip Lindsay had that record 2 years ago. So James Robinson was outstanding. On many teams, he was carrying the load. That's for a fact. If you got him, you probably were headed right to the promised land, obviously. So that was my biggest surprise for this last fantasy season.
Yeah, James Robinson did well. Who knew the fuck his name completely?
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? I had no idea who he was or whatever, but he came out. We were skeptical in the first couple of weeks, and then he, you know what I'm saying, he was just like completely
Did what he did. Sometimes I think it's like certain guys are left out and they're undrafted and then they come in and beast, right? Arian Foster, you get those types of guys.
That's a fact.
And you just
Terrell Davis. You know what I'm saying? You get these guys that really just come in here and manhandle like what they do. They got that hunger and they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Who's to know what their potential output would have been or if they were in a committee at all, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But going into the following season draft, where would you even take a guy like that?
That's the scariest part. So obviously
You know what I
you got
mean?
Urban Meyer,
Yeah.
new head coach over there. They're gonna probably have Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick.
What you know is they're going to run an RPO.
Yeah, of course.
This is the godfather of the RPO.
I would say, I'll tell you right now, James Robinson, if I had to put him on a rank today, he would be a top 10 running back. He would be right at that, probably between 8 to 10 range at the running back position for me.
But where would you take him in a fantasy draft?
In a fantasy draft, 10 man, I'd probably be taking him in the
Back
middle
in
of the
the
second
second.
round. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the middle of the second round, something like that.
So where Kenyon Drake was taken last year.
Well,
In most leagues.
in most leagues, Kenny Drake was taken too high anyway. We already discussed this a lot.
But he did produce as that back.
He did in that moment, but we never saw it. We seen James
We've seen
Robinson
it all
do
year.
No, but I'm saying the year prior
Okay.
before we drafted him this year, where he had 10 touchdowns and he wasn't great running the football, but he had 10 touchdowns.
Kenny Drake, you only see him a couple games.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like he exploded at the end of the season. James Robinson, we saw a full season of a full workload of a guy who we know can catch the ball in the backfield. We know can get it done in the red zone. Can pound the touchdowns in. You saw Leonard Fournette with 3 touchdowns a year prior. James Robinson finished with well more than that. So, yeah, James Robinson is a top 10 running back in my opinion. Now, am I going to jump high on him and draft him as my RB1 more than likely? Probably not, considering, I mean, if you have to, if you're in the middle to the back end of the second round, he's an option, in my opinion, to be my RB1.
Well,
but
it depends on the strategy, in my opinion. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
of
saying? If you're going to know wide receiver, what they call it now, which I've been doing for forever, and they put a label on it, you know what I'm saying? If I can snag James Robinson in the third round, you know what I'm saying, like 8 to 10, yes, I would grab him there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the second round, I would pass on that. You know what I mean? Just given that, you know what I'm saying, you got Kelsey there, you got guys like Patrick Mahomes still there, you know what I'm saying? You could probably win your league in the second round and then go back and go pick up a James Robinson because there's still going to be fan favorites.
yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Aaron Jones, which, I mean, this is recency bias, right? You always remember the last thing you always see. And the last thing we seen from Aaron Jones is that he fucking sucked. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could potentially get him. He's fallen. First round in the first year. You know what I'm saying? Last year in drafts, he was taken in the second round. This year, you could probably get him in the third round easily.
Yeah, it also
So-
depends if he's on the Green Bay Packers. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's a factor too. But the biggest surprise to me this year, I mean, it's probably Josh Allen to that Stephon Diggs connection.
Yes.
I mean, we were warranting through the whole offseason whether or not can Stephon Diggs with Josh Allen get the elite targets,
Yeah.
which was 150 targets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he killed it this year.
Yes.
They
incredible.
destroyed shit, and you know what? That's beyond what I thought that they could do.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, not to undercut them at all, because they played dynamic, and we know Diggs from the Vikings,
He was
contested
good.
catch rate,
Yeah.
everything like that was like top 5.
Yes.
Period. Who knew that he could do this with Allen? Man, that's crazy. That's the biggest surprise.
170 plus targets. You know what I mean? You're talking about a team where John Brown, the year prior, led the team in targets at 115.
Yeah.
And you're telling me Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs was going to have 170 targets.
Josh Allen's that good, though.
I didn't see
I'm
that
not
coming.
saying, you know what, I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think Josh
Well, I'm
Allen's
not
that
going to
good.
say that I thought he would get 170 targets, but at the same time, I knew he was going to get 100 plus, 120, 130 easy,
Yes.
and he's still going to have
But
was going to have a long
150 is
season.
elite status.
Because
150's top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
all I'm saying is I
He's
thought
being-
Josh Allen is taking a step, and then third year, he's taking another step. I think he's going to be a flat-out elite quarterback in this league for many years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to talk about just the Buffalo Bills. They can't run the football. They got to rely a lot on Josh Allen. And so it showed in the pass game, plain and simple. Stephon Diggs, I mean, he lit everybody up, period. He was great this season.
Is this Dan Marino 2.0 or is that Dan Marino 3.0? Because we've seen that with Stafford, right?
No,
Or Jim Kelly. What about Jim Kelly?
Stafford never moved the way Josh Allen does.
Yeah, but
He
he
never
throws
ran
the ball
the way
better
that
than
Josh Allen does. Yeah, but Josh Allen can give you 100 yards on the ground. Stafford never gave you 20.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, biggest
Like-
fantasy prize, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, could he really hit him 150 times and it be, like, accurate as it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was something to really marvel about, and kudos to that team.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise to me. Buffalo Bills, albeit, he was on our high risk, high reward. Absolutely, Stephon Diggs was, where there was so many question marks about how great could he be, because we knew he was a great receiver coming in. We didn't know how many targets he was going to get, and guess what? He dominated.
Yeah, another one. You know what I'm saying? This guy was on the injury report out of nowhere. Got a, you know what I'm saying, epidermal, everything like that. Try to get his money. Alvin Kamara absolutely killed shit this year.
Yes.
Now that's somebody I underestimated.
A lot of people
I
did.
think he's gonna come off a medium, mid-sized year, and he destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he really carried you in the fantasy playoffs, that's for sure. 6
If you made it.
touchdowns.
A lot of people who
touchdowns
drafted Alvin Kamara
That's okay.
did not make playoffs.
That's okay. You know what? Yeah, beat me down a little bit more. I get it. I missed the playoffs. I had Alvin Kamara. He had 6 touchdowns in the championship week. He carried team spirit. If you had Alvin Kamara,
What's
you pretty much
ridiculous,
won.
our league is so pro. He got Alvin Kamara at the 10 pick. And
Yes.
it's a 10-man league.
In a 10-man league, and then guess what? I still didn't make playoffs.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes it's just dumb luck. I get it. But biggest bust. Let's talk about some bust players.
Mhm.
Just real quick. Zeke.
Oh, well, I'll call that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was not.
We talked about
surprised.
Zeke and really struggling every single season. His yards per game has dropped every single season.
No, but his receptions went up and his receiving yards went up in the second and third years. So it's something else. This year was different. Prescott going down was the killer. It
Yes.
killed his entire season after that.
Yeah,
So-
but here's the deal. There's a lot of bad teams that have great running backs
Yeah.
that still produce regardless.
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
him and Ohio State, he took a lot of carries.
Yeah, but that's
period.
true. But when you got
And,
somebody who cannot pass downfield, they started stacking the box against Zeke and nothing for him. And more than that, I think it was attitude. Maybe it was like a demoralization within the entire team. You've seen it in those early weeks.
Yeah,
Like,
and
they
outside
just-
the talk early, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the most active fucking running back in that time, you know what I mean? So I knew that was eventually going to come down. He got his money, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be the year you get hurt or some shit or something's
You know,
going
you
to
think
happen.
it was
You know
just
what I
the
mean?
money thing? You get
Yeah.
paid, and then you're like,
I mean,
fall off.
maybe it's that, but I just felt him winding down more than he would stay at elite status, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Zeke, I still think in the shape he's in and the running back type of running back he is with Dak Prescott, if he's back, I wouldn't say he's a top 5 running back, but he's still probably a top 10 running back, top 15.
Of course.
You know what I
Period.
mean? Just based
I
on
mean,
his skill set.
maybe DeAndre Swift's coming. Maybe Jonathan Taylor, Dobbins. These guys are coming, but I mean, to replace Zeke, you're gonna have to do a whole lot.
Yeah. We're going to end it off. We got rookies for fantasy, right? Talking fantasy football, rookies. There were some rookies that really shine.
Yeah,
One rookie going into next season that you really feel comfortable with taking
Herbert.
and being excited about.
Herbert.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
Outstanding. Broke a lot of records. Broke some of Randy Moss's records for the
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings. And Chris Carter and all those
I
great
think
guys.
he's gonna be a great.
Yeah. Great receiver. Put on a great season.
I'll put my name on it. I think he'll be better than Michael Thomas.
Okay. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
Who you got? Third wheel? Herbert?
I like Herbert. My only problem is I think that he'll be overdrafted. He'll be drafted too high.
I think it depends on
I mean,
what they
what
do
was
in
he,
free
like,
agency.
he was
If
in
they're
top-
able
he
to
was in top
retain
6,
Hunter
7.
Henry and other guys, maybe he will be okay. They're going through a coaching change as well, and
Yeah, but
you know
he's
when
good, man.
when these things happen, a lot of these quarterbacks go through a sophomore slump. You know what I mean? At Oregon, he wasn't shit. And you look at Mariota, who was like, you know what I'm saying, dope at Oregon. He went through a sophomore slump too. And now he's on the Oakland Raiders, the worst team of all time.
Even then, these rookies that come out and do that, you typically see a tail off at the end of the year, in the middle of the year, and he was still killing it.
You know what? Up until the end. Herbert had a couple games where he really did tail off. They figured him out. He threw some interceptions. He didn't have as many touchdowns. He still broke the rookie record for touchdowns.
Safeties too deep high and make him try to complete the short game because you see when Austin Eckler was hurt, that's when Justin Herbert blew up. When Austin Eckler came back, he was not good in that short game at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's when they were losing a lot of games. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot saying that he can be a sophomore bust. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. The wide receivers, you already brought up, Justin Jefferson. You know what? I'll be honest, CeeDee Lamb. Depending on the quarterback play, he's going to be great.
Yeah, I think CeeDee's going to be a star.
Jerry Jeudy, Denver Broncos.
I think Jerry Jeudy going to be a
star. That's what I'm saying.
Like, Jerry Judy's right there. Monster, honestly.
I got to bring up a running back, obviously. Yeah, I'm going to bring up a running back, Jonathan Taylor. Right? Indianapolis Colts. They got to worry about a quarterback. I'll be honest, but you're looking at a guy that's guaranteed 1,000 yards. Yeah. You know, considering how he finished so strong. In my opinion, the beginning of the season didn't look great, but on top of that, it was like a hot hand type running. And
I mean, a lot of
Phil Rivers came on. The team kind of gelled at the end.
I think a lot of that has to do with, you think about the 4 games that, you know what I'm saying, he started with. That's preseason, man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get a lot of that, and then they finally ran with it right. Never like really backed off on him. Like, it's always been Jonathan Taylor's job, even though Nyheim Hines blew up in a couple games. Like, we're gonna get him the ball, and he really committed to that, you know what I'm saying, and we seen him blow up. J.K. Dobbins as well. You know what I'm saying? I think Dobbins is going to be a monster. I think all those guys that came out of that class, you know what I'm saying, might have a chance to really be top 5 backs, even DeAndre Swift, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's crazy. But where do you draft these guys at? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the thing, and we'll have a lot of that in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, first 4 downs, we talk about Super Bowl. A little bit of quarterback stuff and some fantasy stuff. So that's been our show for tonight.
Yeah.
It's been B. Scott.
G.O.D.
Third wheel.
And we out.
Yeah.